They've piled up career highs in sacks, tackles, and interceptions. The best of the best over the last 2 decades. Welcome back to 11 of the last 20. I'm your host, Chad Landers. Thanks for tuning in to our latest countdown here on Blue Ridge 11. Today, we're hitting the best football defensive players from our coverage area over the past 20 years. So let's put on the pads, head back to the gridiron, and see who made our list.
Offense is sometimes easy because the QB throws for 3,000, this guy ran for 2,000. I think sometimes you got to examine what impact did the kid have in terms of the defensive philosophy that the team played on. What was his impact to that team's defense? And did he create opportunities or create mismatches that made it difficult for your opposition?
You got to value that smarts, the instincts, the ball instincts on defense.
It does help to have a nasty personality, and it does help to have a motor. It does help to be able to play on every play.
Never stop, never loaf, go full speed for as long as you can.
I've heard before tackling is 90% effort, 10% ability. You know, it's those kids who will give you their all when they're on the field, that those are the ones that make the best defensive football players.
Number 11, Warwick's Hayden Ruchi, 2019 Big 33 participant, future Wisconsin Badger.
Hayden Ruchi, heck of an athlete, heck of a two-way player for Warwick.
Kiefer steps, wants to throw right, and Hayden Ruchi will drop him for a loss.
Well, you start off with the fact that we're talking about a D1 athlete. He played both sides of the ball, but another example of a kid who people had to scheme to deal with him.
But it was well read by the Warwick defense.
Very quick, tall, very strong. His wingspan made him an even better defensive end.
His feet could keep going through the blocks.
Hawes, under pressure, is going to be sacked.
He never stopped, but his pure size and athleticism really helped him to be a dominant force from the end position for Warwick.
It was kind of a pick your poison as to which way you're going to run the ball, because Ruchi's on one end, Coomer's a tackle at the other end. Which way do you go? And I think Hayden was able to utilize his athleticism, his size, able to control the run game, but then when opposing teams went back to pass, he was in their face.
Brought up in a football family, so his technique was impeccable. The kid, you know, this may not be politically correct these days, but football's a violent sport. The bottom line is it's hitting, and he knew how to finish people. When he hit you, he would pick you up, but you knew that you'd been hit.
Here's Metzer. He is upended.
You know, just the desire to go find the quarterback or find the ball carrier, get off of blocks. He just was a total package when it came to the defensive side of the ball.
I'll always remember his athleticism.
Gavin Horning lost the ball.
Just such a physical presence and his speed. Just such a smart guy and just really understood the game.
He's going to be wrapped up and dropped.
And just a great blitzer off of the edge and used that speed game and his smarts. And he'll go down as one of the best pretty much ever to come through Warwick, and it showed by getting a D1 ride.
Number 10, Warwick's Caleb Schmitz, 2020 All-State defensive back, University of Cincinnati recruit.
Caleb Schmitz, he's still playing.
We get to see him one more year, which is going to be so much fun.
And there's a pass picked off. Caleb Schmitz is going to take this one in for the touchdown. Tremendous growth just in the last couple of years.
Another kid who's going to go D1, and again, he is a difference maker, just in a different setup. Safeties can have a large impact in a football game. Anybody that sees Caleb on film, or anybody who's come to watch Caleb and the college coaches recruited him, all speak about that he comes downhill.
Caleb Schmitz with a big hit on Floyd.
From his safety position, when he hits you, you know you've been hit.
A free safety that just runs around looking for opposing ball carriers. He took a shot.
I can't believe he held
Caleb
on to
Schmitz.
Now you add to that the fact that he's got a tremendous nose for the ball.
Caleb Schmitz is going to take it to the house.
And not just the nose for the ball, he somehow has the gift. Once he picks the ball, he becomes a wideout, and he sees a pathway to the end zone.
He's a ball hawk, I would say. You know, some guys like to hit the guys coming across the middle, and Caleb's got the right idea. He's going for the ball every time.
And it is incomplete.
I remember at Warwick's playoff run last fall, teams weren't really throwing to his side. When he was over the top on a wideout, quarterbacks were looking the other way because they knew Schmitz was over there. Where's 34? You better know where he's at.
He just set the tone for Warwick in their secondary. Good coverage all the way through.
Another example of a kid who has a tremendous work ethic, does all the little things that we ask of him. Very intelligent about what his job as a safety is, understands assignments for those sitting in front of him, linebackers and the rest of the DBs, and just another great football player.
Number 9, Cocalico's Jet Janis, 2013 Section 2 Defensive Back of the Year, future safety for the Oregon Ducks, Millersville Marauders.
Jet Janis, what a safety.
Great cover skills, speed. When that ball was up in the air, Jet wanted to not only pick it off, but he wanted to return it as well. Because he knew if he got that ball in his hands, he was going to be able to make a big play out of it.
Just really fantastic at reading the quarterback. Where's the play going to be? Do I need to come up and blitz? Is it a run? Do I need to drop back in coverage and help out because they're going to throw the ball downfield?
When Janis comes in and reads the quarterback's eyes, picks it off.
Just a flat-out playmaker. Loved the game, understood the game.
Janis on the coverage for the Eagles.
If I'm throwing the ball, I'm not throwing it anywhere near the middle of the field where number 3 has a chance of picking the ball off.
I was always anxious to see what he was going to do on a Friday night. Never knew what he was going to do, but I knew for sure he was going to make a play or do something unforgettable that would make the crowd go bananas.
I remember a play against LS where made a diving one-handed interception that just seemed like he was in the air forever. And he was a kid that when he was on the field, you just trusted that he was going to make plays and find a way to will your team to victory, which, you know, as a coach is certainly all you can ask for, and somebody that you want on the field at all times.
Goes out to Oregon on a track scholarship, does well out there, decides, you know what, I still want to play football, earns a walk-on position at University of Oregon, and then transfers to Millersville and plays football out there.
The ball is intercepted by the Marauders. Jet Janis had the interception.
To be able to play multiple sports, especially at that second level, and the way he did it, just tells you what kind of athlete Jet Janis was.
He was the leader of Cocalico in those years, and I'm sure his brother was real happy with the way he was playing.
Number 8, Cocalico's Brett Janis, 3-year starter, Eagles all-time leader in interceptions and defensive touchdowns.
In the secondary, Uberoth and Hassler on the corners. Brett Janis is the free safety, and Coach Kaufman says that Janis loves to hit.
He was the intimidator. When teams tried to come across the middle with their receivers, Brett would just take their head off.
Draws, got some room to run. Oh my! What a lick. Brett Janis once again. Oh, man.
I mean, he set the tone every game in the first quarter.
I don't know what it is about these guys in this list, especially the guys in the secondary. Just love to hit people.
Man, there is Janis again to send him to the turf at the 35-yard line.
And another guy that would just seek out the opposing ball carrier and just zoom in and just lay the lumber on him.
Boy, is Janis putting on a hitting clinic here tonight.
He led us to championships his sophomore and his senior year. Senior year, we were 9-1, and he was the player of the year in Section 3. He was on defense. He had 17 interceptions, and he ran back 5.
Janis looking for a sideline, and he's going to go for the touchdown. That is a huge game-turning play right there.
Talking to Scott Shelley, who was the defensive coordinator when Brett was there, he mentioned how Brett allowed them to play both a 4-3 and a 4-4 just because Brett could make that transition from safety to linebacker so easily, and no matter where he was just making plays all over the field.
The pass, Vale throwing for the end zone, knocked away by Janis. Brett Agavi was open, but what a play by Brett Janis. Perfectly timed by number 3.
You know, I remember when he tackled you, he wasn't just trying to bring you down, he was trying to punish you.
Good read, but Janis was just waiting for the catch to be made and then hitting.
And that mentality, you know, is what you want out of a linebacker and a safety, somebody who's going to get to the ball as quickly as they can and, you know, make people know that they're there.
He wasn't a rah-rah guy. He was I called him the quiet assassin because he just did it and then just walked back and didn't act great or anything. He did his job. Yeah, he's one of the hardest hitters I've ever seen.
Coach Kaufman was indicating a little bit that you were kind of itching to hit some people tonight. I think you gave a clinic, didn't you?
Yeah, it was fun tonight. I mean, they were coming right at me and I laid it down.
The countdown's only getting started. Coming up next, we look back at the best football defensive players from number 7 through number 4. It's all ahead on 11 of the last 20.